What is going on, folks? I am Goat, and welcome back to Warframe. So, I just posted a video showing the tail end of what we know to be the upcoming bit to the new war, which is about to be renamed to the Prelude to War, and then we're actually going to get the new war. But I've seen a bunch of people in forums and streamer content comments and even YouTube comments. Like, I've looked at, a few people's lore videos and things like that, and I've seen some really fucked up comments. And honestly, I kind of want to put my 2 cents in on this. And let me fix something here really quick. I've seen a lot of complaining about people bitching about that they have to have a necromech and they have to have a railjack. Okay. So as far as timeline goes, and at least in order of appearance, as far as what they show here, right? So you get woke up, you get taken by Vor, or Vor tries to take you. Heart of Deimos isn't necessarily in line with the timeline. I don't know why it sits that way, because Saya's Vigil really is like the first major quest aside from Vor's Prize, because it unlocks Cetus. My opinion, Vox Solaris is next because it's the next planet in line with everything. The Wave Rider, personally, I would think would be the next one, and then probably the Deadlock Protocol. Howl of the Kubro, honestly, would be next. Once Awake, then probably Heart of Deimos. Obviously, the Arcwing fits somewhere in the middle of that. Probably, let's say, between Venus and Mercury. So probably after the Howl of Kubro. Man, a Few Words is just kind of whenever. Stolen Dreams probably should be before Once Awake, because Stolen Dreams, you're talking about Maru and dealing with, Maru's Bazaar at the end, which is off of Mars. The Limbo Theorem just kind of fits in the middle somewhere. The New Strange is, Samaris is based from any relay, so it kind of is what it is. Beyond that, I understand further. So the order of these quests isn't exactly how they really appear, but there's something that you've got to understand, okay? First of all, I don't know why this is so fucking low, but Rising Tide. Rising Tide, you cannot do the Call of Tempestari, which is right here. I don't know why it's so high either. But you cannot do the Call of Tempestari quest without having a railjack. So you either plat buy a railjack or you do, the Rising Tide, right? So you got to have a railjack. And in my opinion, I think, especially now since they've shortened the duration on everything with the Rising Tide, I think the Rising Tide should be done rather than plat buying. Okay, I really do, because it really breaks down a story behind the fucking thing as far as what the railjack is and as far as Cephalon Psi and everything else. Because otherwise, if you plat buy it, you just get this random ass Ben Steinish kind of fucking voice popping out at you, and you're like, what in the fuck is wrong with this dude? But then you got to do Call of Tempestari, which is backstory information into Parvos Granum and the Old War. There is a little bit of Old War-esque stuff in there, okay? There is. But then you get even more Old War information from, let's see, sorry for all the bouncing, Nata, The Second Dream, The War Within, excuse me. See, like, if we go actually into the story mode itself, Chains of Harrow, which is, yes, pre-Old War. It's more like almost during the Old War, but I would say pre-Old War. Apostasy Prologue and the Sacrifice. I mean, this is all Old War stuff, old informational shit. The Sacrifice is probably the newest in the line, except for what's in the Prelude to War. The Chimera Prologue is after Ballas is taken, okay, and begins his earned, but his transformation into a sentient, and then Era covers both Old War and present day, and then the Maker is present day of what the sentients are doing, right? But I'm seeing complaints. I'm seeing complaints about necromechs. Well, if anybody saw any of my videos from Orphix Venom, stand by. My God, if I could spell. If you guys hear anything in the background, it's just my washing machine. It is what it is. Let's just look at something here, okay?
Orbiter.
Okay, I'm going to show y'all something, all right? This is from my channel during Operation Orphix Venom, right? Big Necromech kill time.
Every time you guys get a kill, you're gonna heal wound. And it's not much, but it's your next hit to it.
Drank in the background there, obviously. Sentience all over the fucking place, right? Because the Orphix is what... See, that's an Orphix right there. And what am I using? A fucking Necromech, because the Orphix was sending out a signal that was basically causing a lack in transference capability with the newer Warframes, right? At least as far as the story goes. Hence a big need for a Necromech, because a Necromech may be the only way to attack the Orphix and the Chondrix of the Sentience, right? Okay? So that's problem number one. Problem number two, Railjacks. Well, how are you going to go fight in space if all you got is a motherfucking Arcwing? Come on. I mean, seriously, man, come the fuck on. I mean, y'all high? Y'all high as balls here? I'm seeing complaint after fucking complaint, and I'm just like... The video that I just put out says the grind, the necessity of the grind, right? Really help if I actually put that shit on the right fucking window. The necessity of the grind. Okay, so I'm a legendary one. First of all, let's go right back into this fucking codex, okay? Universe, mods. All right, I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm a legendary one, okay? That doesn't mean shit. That's like... So I'm good at taking tests, right? I mean, that's really where it kind of sits with legendary status, in my opinion. That doesn't mean you're amazing at the game. That just means you're good at mastering items in the game. Okay, that's really what I think the legendary status is that it means that you've mastered all the shit in the game. That doesn't mean you're your best in the game. That's why I repeatedly say that I know I'm not the best in the game by any fucking means. I know I'm not the best in the fucking game. I know I'm not, nor would I claim to be. I just try to be as educated as I can, give the best play that I can for myself. And if it's good content for this, then great. If not, sorry about your luck, you know? I mean, watch somebody else, you know? I mean, it's just the truth. But I'm going to show you something, all right? This is every mod in the game. Let's just scroll across this list, right? These are all mods that I own. Any mod that is colored is a mod that I own. This is by rank, so it's going to take a second. Well, there's mods in here I don't own, right? Like I said, I haven't done all the crazy farming and all this other shit. There is definitely content in this game that even I don't own. I got to what, the halfway point before we saw the first mod I didn't own? Somewhere in there? Yeah, right around halfway. Now, is there scattered mods here and there that I do own? Yes, as you see. Yes, 100%. But, you know, like I could go for duplicates. And in that case here, I'm just going to use my damn mouse, because if I don't, we're going to be here for fucking ever and a goddamn day. Okay, so if you actually put it by duplicates, meaning mods that I own more than one of, obviously, then you make it to about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through the list before you start seeing shit that I don't own, okay? So there's still, with me putting in the amount of time that I put into this game, there's roughly 1/3 to 1/4 of the mods in this game I do not own. That is grinding, okay? Their mods come from all over the place, okay? The reason I am at legendary status is very simple. There are 651 items in this game. I have mastered 649 of them. Okay, the only two that I have not mastered, which the Spyro Prime is coming up, and I will be farming for that. But there's the Spyro Prime, and then there is the Sigma Noctanus, which will come on my 700th login, which means I think as of today 125 logins away. Okay, pretty simple. So there's literally 2 weapons that I haven't mastered, or 2 items in this game that I haven't mastered, and I'll show you. Because I believe Spyro is a secondary. Yep, see? Spyro Prime right there. And then the Sigma Noctanus is a sword and mace, or a sword and hammer. Right there. There it is. Sword and shield. So, but it's a DAX-specific weapon. So just like the Zenith and the Azima, DAX-specific weapon. Those are the only 2 items I don't have as of right now. Now, by the end of the new war, I will have to go get Caliban and his new weapon. Plus, I got to get Harrow Prime and the Scourge Prime, and maybe if there's another weapon in there. And then obviously the content of the quest. But the content of the quest I don't believe is going to get us any mastery. So it is what it is. But the bitching and the complaining, okay? Look, I'm going to tell you right now, all right? I have either every Prime version, or if there is not a Prime, I have every base version of every Warframe in this game. I have 2 Loki Primes because I got one for free from a Twitch drop, okay? And then I've got, just out of pure boredom and nostalgia, I have Excalibur, I have base Rhino, base Mag, and base Volt, because they're fun to play with the lower guys, and not just map wipe, okay? So, but there are 51 loadouts when you're at Legendary 1. When Legendary 2 finally hits, there will be 52, because it says that another loadout will come. So there will be 52 available loadouts, and I will use all of them in some way. Like presently, I have an extra Korra too. But there's no need to build her because I've got her built for both of her augments, so it is what it is. But no, I mean, it's just, I don't understand the gripe, okay? When you've got 46 available Warframes that you can play, okay, be it the primed version of the standard Warframes, okay, or just the base Warframes, because there is not a prime yet. But when you have 46 available options to play, tell me how much grind is there. There's a lot, right? Every one of these is modded. There's plenty of these, like, here, we'll just go right into Lavos, okay? So Lavos with the Corinth Prime, the Kuva Nucor, the Paracesis, okay? So you're talking 5 polarizations, 5 polarizations, 3 polarizations, nope, 4 polarizations. So with everything I've got here, I've got 7 plus 10, so I've got 17 forma wrapped up into these 4 items alone. Not even counting the fucking cat which is the Panzer Vulpaphyla, but which that one has 1, and it's going to have 3 before it's all said and done, because I want to get that little bastard ready for the new war, because I finally made up my mind on what companion I want to take. But that's literally re-ranking these items from 0 all the way back up to their max rank, or to their rank that you can get max to until you polarize something. So the Paracesis is a rank 40 weapon. So that's 5 guaranteed forma that you got to put in to master the item, right? The Kuva Nucor maxes out like any other Kuva or Tenant weapon, maxes out at 40. So there's 5 guaranteed forma that you have to put into an item to get it mastered. The Corinth Prime maxes out at 30, but to get the build that I wanted, testing out different ideas, I needed 3 forma to fit everything in here, okay? And then Lavos, again, to fit the build that I wanted to put on him, I needed 4 forma, because I wanted to change his aura as well. So 17 forma in 1 loadout. Y'all gonna bitch about a Necromech. Y'all gonna bitch about a Railjack. You've got to understand this very, very simple point. And this is not me calling anybody a bunch of baby back bitches and all this other shit. It's really not. But you have to understand that the new war quest, I can 100% guarantee that this is not meant for new players. Okay, hands down, this is not meant for new players. And I kind of put the bitching and the griping, honestly, back on Digital Extremes. Okay, I'm even going to show you why. Oh, for fuck's sake, come on. There we go, right there. Where did I see it? Sorry, give me just a second. Okay, here it is right here. So they released what they call the Act 1 cinematic. Okay? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, that's definitely the one. Right here, Warframe on Facebook. See the new war through the eyes of unlikely allies, right? Releasing on all platforms. Let's take 45 seconds of our lives for this. If I could actually hit the right fucking buttons. Let's go.
For my brothers.
The sentients must have latched to the grid. Tashi?
I don't need your help.
Now, I saw one video pop up to where it was like a beg and plead, come download to access the new war quest, and I can't seem to find it at the moment. Okay, but download today, free to play, to have access to the new war. No, that is not how this is going to play out. And if you're insane enough to think that that's how that's going to play out, you're in for a very sad mistake, because there's a bunch of fucking quests that you have to do, and there's a bunch of shit that you're going to have to do. Because my best guess, my best estimate says that the enemy range is probably going to be 35 to 75. If you can find me a mastery 5 or below that you think can handle a level 35 to 75 sentient with the weapons and the loadouts and the stuff, the mods available, if they haven't farmed out properly in any way, shape, or form, may God be with them. Because that's what's gonna happen. If somehow, like, they can't even access the quest because you have to get all the way through the Eris and Sedna junctions off of Pluto just to access the war within, okay? Like, you would literally have to beeline through, be a godlike player, and then be introduced to God when you finally have access to this fucking quest. I don't see how you could possibly stay below Mastery 5 or stay below Mastery 6 by getting that far into the game. I just don't. Like, the lowest player I've ever seen on their own carrying themselves through, all the way through Pluto, was like a Mastery 7, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I'm sure somebody's probably done it, but, you know, in a lower rank, and that's cool, man. If you got them kind of skills, man, fucking pro power right there. But the thing is this, okay? I mean, at the end of the day, you don't get shit like this until you grind out for it, till you farm for it, because this is a farming and a crafting and a ranking style game that has an entire storyline plus extra quests involved. All this shit has to be ground out and farmed and ranked and built and understood. You have to fail in order to find success. And that's where, like, I really wish Digital Extremes would stop saying, have access to the new war if you download today, free to play. No, stop that shit. No, don't, no, please, stop. Stop fucking teasing people with this crazy awesome looking cinematic and acting like if they download this motherfucker, they'll be able to play it as soon as they log in. No, man. No, that is not how this works. Warframe is an excellent game. Warframe has been a little stagnant off and on over the last couple of years. Part of that I haven't even been a part of. But where the big fall off started to happen was the Railjack release. Okay? They released the Empyrean. You know, so all the 3 Proxima regions. And there was tons of problems with that. There was all sorts of problems with ranking issues comparative to the intrinsic system and the avionics, you know, and just nothing Like, the enemies were scaled way higher than you could ever have the fucking tankiness to really take on, so you just really had to grind out Railjack, and it was just really unplayable for a lot of people. And then, as soon as things started getting a little bit better with Railjack, then they released Scarlet Spear. Now, that was right around the time that I started playing, but I had no idea it was a thing because I just hadn't, I didn't have access to it. And from everybody that I've spoken to about Scarlet Spear, they all basically told me that it was garbage at best. Like, the amount of points that it cost to get stuff was absolutely just atrocious, and it was just unplayable because it was basically reliant on tying two squads together, one doing basically like an excavation style Condrix, like basically it's kind of like an excavation. You have to basically kill the sentients that are trying to get to the Condrix, and then you have to destroy the Condrix to get kill codes to take out shit flying around in space. The problem is if the two squads aren't working well together, for one, you got that issue. For two, there was only so many kills you could get per day, or per cycle, which was I think a 3 or 5 hour cycle. I want to say it was 3. And so if the kills were already done, then you literally had to wait until the next cycle. And so there would be people that would be right at the tail end of the kill cycle, and then all of a sudden it was pointless because you couldn't get points. No pun intended. And it was supposed to be a great way to get arcanes and blah, 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 blah. But it was like basically you would have to spend like 12 hours at a time to get the bonus points and everything else just to get a few items, or just to get one full arcane, basically, from the way I've seen it played out in other videos. And then, in my opinion, I think where they started to rectify their problems was with the Deadlock Protocol. Now, that was definitely while I was playing, obviously. The Deadlock Protocol was like a complete rework of all of the Corpus ships, the Corpus ship tile sets, and a rework of a bit of the story behind the Corpus, which made it very, very playable. And in my opinion, still, I think the Deadlock Protocol is one of the better quests in the game, especially for it being more of a side quest. But it's a really, really fun quest. And then they did, excuse me, released a few Warframes, unvaulted some Primes, did Operation Orphix Venom, which I think Orphix Venom, after now looking back and seeing what Scarlet Spear was like, Orphix Venom was 10,000 times better than what the fuck Scarlet Spear was, because it was single squad play, first of all. Second of all, you just had to go and farm your necromech and build it. It didn't even have to be max rank. Just needed to be like to rank 30, so you could put enough mods on it to keep it alive for a period of time. And it was just basically endless style, go after the Orphix and just keep beating the Orphix until you just couldn't keep up anymore and then extract. But you would build up points. But the points that you built up, damn bonuses. You just built up a straight up amount of points, and you could get legendary arcanes, you could get rare arcanes, uncommon arcanes and common arcanes. Plus you had access, which is how I got my first Lavos, and this helmet. It's also how I got my second Lavos to sacrifice later. I got him from Father, but whatever. But I got the Cedula and I got the Basmu, and I got some arcanes, and yeah, man, I mean, in my opinion, Operation Orphix Venom was really awesome. And then they've released a few quests here and there since then. You've got the Wave Rider, you've got Call of Tempestari. They fixed the Lich system. And also updated with the Sisters of Parvos off of the Call of Tempestari. And in my opinion, they made that so much more playable. And the only thing that I find to be a little bit of fault in the gameplay up to this point is that they're forcing Railjack down everybody's throats. I understand it's a side of the game, and I personally think that the Plexus system, some people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. But I personally find that the Plexus system, compared to the old avionics system, is entirely improved, okay? Because the Plexus system used to be with the old avionics, you had a point value from your reactor, okay? And that's all you could do, is you could stick mod-like avionics on there, and you had to have the best fucking reactor possible to get the most amount of points out of the system, right? Now, this is a 0. I think this is a 0 forma build. Let's look. Yeah, this is a 0 forma build, okay? Is it perfect? Absolutely not. No way, shape, or form is this a perfect build. No, but this works for me. But you've got integrated mods, and then you have battle mods, and then you have tactical mods. Okay? Now, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, this is 10 times more playable than what the old avionics system was, because the avionics system was very much holding you to farming the shit out of Veil Proxima to get the best possible reactor, to get the most fucking points possible, to squeeze the best avionic mods, or avionics, which didn't drop especially great in the game anyway. And I think running more of a mod style system like a fucking, like modding out of Warframe really does work out so much better. Just my personal opinion. So I think that them adding the Plexus and changing the avionics into a mod-like system, a huge game changer, because for one, adding mods into the situation allows you to make your railjack tankier. It also allows you to go further, and then them adding corpus tile sets into railjack way better. The only complaint that I have about railjack at this point, truth be told, is void storms. I think they're garbage. I think void storms are absolutely garbage, because if you want to go crack relics, okay, let's just throw this out there. If you want to go crack relics, why in the fuck would you go do void storms? Truth be told, why the hell would you want to go? Why would you want to literally punish yourself by cracking relics and void storms? Because your average void storm mission is going to take you somewhere between 9 and 18 minutes, depending on the mission, because there's sidestep missions. There's sidestep prioritized things that you have to do just to do the mission. So, and I mean, and that, 9 minutes if you're on the quick side and the mission's easy, like an exterminator or something like that. Defense, you're at the mercy of the waves. Survival, you're at the mercy of the clock. But everything, you're at the mercy of all the side extra horse shit that you have to do. And if you're not built well, it's going to take you a fucking hot goddamn minute to get through some of these missions. Plus, the map is literally exploding everywhere. It's nowhere near as bad as the first, 96 hours or so of the Void Storm release. They fixed it pretty well after the first, 48 hours. But the first couple of days of Void Storms, it was, in my opinion, unfucking playable. There were some that were playing it okay, but it was rough. But I hate the fact that they cram Railjack down our goddamn throat, and I really, really, really hate Void Storms. I understand, man, that you get drops from Void Storms. You have the opportunity of getting drops that are only available in Void Storm missions, specifically set by the planets. So I do understand it. But I think that the enemy level scaling is all fucked up for Railjack still. Because, you can do Earth, and then you go to Venus, and Venus is a lower level than Earth, if I remember right, or very similar. But then you go to Saturn, and everything gets really fucking tanky, because they never rescaled the enemies. And then you go to Neptune, and Neptune is a lower level. Neptune's literally a lower level than Saturn, but it's higher in the Proxima scale. Then you go to Pluto, and it's still right around the same level as Saturn. And then you go to Vale, and it's just like damn near Steel Path. So it's just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Their enemy scaling is all fucked up. And the Grenier missions are literally the same fucking mission over and over and over. They're basically all skirmish style missions, or almost all of them. I'm not going to say all of them, but most of the Grenier missions are skirmish style missions, which is just fucking annoying at best. I mean, it's not as bad as when it released, because I think they were literally all skirmishes in the beginning. So there is more content, but I just hate the fact that they do cram the Railjack down your throat. But here's, I guess, where I'm going with this. For one, I wish Digital Extremes would stop advertising free to play, come and play it, and you'll have access to this right fucking now. No. They don't say right now, but they basically play off the words and almost clickbait new people to come in and download the game, because look how awesome the cinematic is and you'll have access. Well, yeah, you'll have access after you get to Mastery 12. And even then, you better have somebody showing you where to get all the good shit at pretty quickly. You better, follow some YouTubers and some streamers to figure out where the fuck you need to farm all the shit to get there. Because otherwise, you're going to die. But this game, the entirety of the New World Quest, to finish this off, is very simple, okay? This comes down to one very basic thing. The New War is supposed to be an all-encompassing origin system battleground quest. And when I say all-encompassing, I mean all-encompassing. You're going to fight as a Grineer, you're going to fight as a Corpus, you're going to fight as a Dax, you're going to fight as yourself, you're going to have a Necromech, you're going to have a Railjack to go into the Proximas, I'm sure. You know, I mean, you're going to be probably planet hopping your dick off, and you're even going to be playing as your operator, I guarantee it. There's so many facets to what's coming and what's potentially coming up with this quest that I understand why you need all this shit. So the point of this is that, yes, if you've been clickbaited into downloading this game, and now you're pissed because you realize, well, I have to have all this crap to play what they just said I could play. I understand your frustration behind that. But at the same time, there's only so much griping you get to do before you understand that this is what this game is. This game is a fucking grind. Just to finish this thought off, I'm a Legendary 1, okay? Again, I'm going to say this again. I'm a Legendary 1, and I have 1,513 hours in the game. I know some people that did not hit Legendary 1, and this was because of when Legendary 1 and Mastery 30 hit, because Mastery 29 was the highest rank available when I started playing in March of 2020, okay? So Legendary, or Mastery 30 hit, I want to say it was November or December of last year, and then Legendary 1 hit early this year, okay? But I know people that are Legendary 1s that have got 10,000 hours in this game, 8,000 hours, you know, 6,000, 5,000 hours. So me having 1,513, it was really just a fortuity of being introduced to the game on a whim, looking at Steam at the right time, because by time I was even remotely close to even thinking of something of Mastery 30, which I was nowhere close to, Mastery 30 hit. By time I was available to, you know, be around Mastery, you know, 18 to 20 range, Legendary 1 hit. So it was just along the scale for me. There was no pause, there was no delay. I could just keep fucking going and keep getting points. You know? I mean, everybody else, their points got grandfathered in, so all they had to do was a test, so I do understand it, but they had all that time of waiting and waiting and waiting. So there's been a lot of stagnation along the game. So for the seasoned players, they're not going to sit here and bitch about, you know, well, I got to have all this crap because they already got it. But for the new player, I understand your frustration as to, well, why can't I have access to this? Why do I have to go farm this? Well, this is part of the game, guys. You have to farm. This is a farming, crafting, ranking, you know, MMO, RPG, RNG, shooter style sci-fi game, man. I mean, there's just so much content to this game. So if you don't like the fact that you gotta grind your dick in the fucking dirt with this game, uninstall it. If not, own it. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Yes, as soon as the new war hits, I will be jumping into the game. And I will lock myself into that quest until I am finished with it, and I will be recording while I'm doing it. And I can promise you that I'm probably going to come across bugs and issues that will be fixed by the time you are available to play it. So don't be mad that you are not going to have direct access, because every fucking quest that releases, the day it releases, there are bugs. There's always bugs. Be happy that by the time you get there, the bugs will most likely be fixed. Take a little solace in that piece of information. So folks, that's it, man. That's it. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm not trying to like downplay your frustrations. I'm really not, because I do understand them. Especially if you saw those clickbaity kind of ads that said, download free to play today, you know, and the new war, and this looks shiny and pretty, and then you see it and you get in, you realize what the prereqs are going to be, and you're like, well, fuck my life. I didn't know all this. I understand your frustrations, but bitching about it, it doesn't make any sense. You got two options. Uninstall the game, understand that you got clickbaited, uninstall the game, move on to something else, or pull up your big boy, big girl pants, whatever the case may be for you, and get ready for the grind. Because believe me, this is an extremely fun game that's absolutely worth the time if you feel like putting it in. But that's the big if, isn't it? When it comes to this style of game, that's the wholehearted big if. Are you ready to put in this much time into a game? So, choice is yours. I hope that you put this time in the game, and I hope to see you in the game. Truthfully, I really do. Take your time. Don't be afraid to let this quest sit and wait for a little bit. Take your fucking time and do it. You do you, all right? So, folks, that's it. Well, thank you very much for watching this. I'll catch you in the next one, all right?